So, all right, let us start. So, welcome to the lecture 11 of the design analysis of algorithm. In this session, we are going to talk about a special problem called the traveling salesman problem, popularly known as TSP. So, hope I'm audible. Can anybody please confirm? So, yes, okay. So, let us discuss about the traveling salesman problem. The problem, as an intuition, is not very difficult, very easy to understand actually. So, you see, it is like that. For example, if you have a map of India, for example, I'm very bad in okay having it, but let's assume that we have a map of some country, and there is place A, there is place B, there is place C, there is place D, there is place E, there is place F. Let's assume G, and you what you want that you start from any place and do a tour and come back. So maybe when you go from, for example, from A to C, what is this? I think G. When you go from A to G, you have to spend something, for example, petrol. So you want to minimize that you eat resource. So we can say that there is an age, and age maybe 100. What is the age here? Maybe 120. So what is the age here? So maybe again 85. So how should you plan your journey? Okay. And also please understand that everywhere there would not be the road. The road would be, for example, here and here only. Yes, in some places only there is a road. So this is what the map is. So if this is the map and you want to find out that how to go, let me give you the route. You come here, you come here, you come here, you come here, then you come here, then you go here, and after that you come back to A. So this is the one way that you can go ahead. Another way could be, that is a very interesting one, that you say that I would start from here. I would start from, for example, here. I would go to this place, then 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 I would go to this place, and then come back. So these two answers, let me say that the route 1 and route 2 that we have just discussed, you may think that okay, they are not same, they are not of the same length. Make sense? However, they both satisfy this particular condition, that we are starting from some point and we are traveling, means we are covering all the places and then we are coming back. Any problem in that? So this again, it is a optimization kind of problem, where multiple solutions are there, and when multiple solutions are there, for example, into the traveling, you want to find out someone which actually suits you best, and which one suits you best, that takes the lesser amount of resources, or we can say that for which the summation of the weights on the ages is going to be the minimum. Any question on that? So the point is this: you have to visit all the cities and come back at the starting one. The question is, what should be the order so that the cost of the tour is minimum? This is my objective. It is an optimization problem, as we discussed. It is an optimization problem that involves a permutation. What do we mean by permutation? Because if n things are there, n stations are there, n places are there where you can go, so you may start from any place. This place you can start from any place, and then from here, how many choices you have? N minus 1 choices you have to go to any other place. Then n minus 2 choices are there. Then n minus 3 choices are there, and so on. So ultimately, how much total number of possibilities, total number of ways in which you can travel is this: n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 dot 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 1. You say that a factorial n number of ways are there in which you can go ahead this. So it's a permutation problem. Before this class, we have seen another problem that was a finding out a minimum spanning tree in a spanning tree in a graph. This problem was something called subset sum problem. Okay, this problem falls into the category called subset sum problem, where for the given item, we want to find out a subset, and then we want to see that what is the summation over here. Okay, So ultimately, what was there? There lot of edges were there in this TSMS minimum spanning tree problem. We lot of edges were there, and we wanted to find out a subset of those edges, such that they all these edges are actually spanning the complete graph, and this value is minimum. So we want to find out the minimum over here. So what I wanted to tell you that if n items are there, if there are n items, if there are n items, n items into the as an input, then 2 to the power n subsets are possible. Everybody is agreeing with this. 2 to the power n number of subsets are possible. However, into the permutation setting, factorial n things are there. You know that the factorial n is very large number as compared to the is very large number as compared to the 2 to the power n. Okay, it's a very large number. So essentially, this is a problem. This is the biggest problem, that if you want to solve this problem with respect to the brute source approach, then it would be very difficult to go ahead with. You know that the factorial n is that there is something called the Stirling's approximation that tells that the factorial n is equal to under root of 2 pi n upon e to the power n. Then there is a 1 plus theta 1 upon n. So essentially, if you want to analyze this particular thing, also it comes out to be there is some under root n terms. Otherwise, you could, because from the computer science perspective, you can tell that I can remove something. Then it is n to the power n, and then there is some constant. So you can say that it is something roughly around the n to the power n. So n to the power n and 2 to the power n, you can think that how much difference there is, and everywhere there is a 2, and I'm telling that everywhere there is a values 1 2 3 4. So it's a very big number. So that's why it's a challenging problem. Okay, try to understand that that's why this problem is not that easy. We have to be very careful when designing a solution for this thing. And let me tell you that this problem is very difficult problem in terms of the, you know that there is something called the computational complexity. Computational complexity. You may be having the idea that there are two predefined sets such as P and NP. Okay, you know that there is two sets called P and NP. And what these sets are, you may be knowing it. That let's assume that P is actually a set, and similarly NP is also a set, and these set actually have problems. What do you mean by problems? So for example, given two number, how to find out that which one is the minimum? Find out the minimum. Given the list of item, sort them. Given the list of item, find out whether that particular item exists or not. Given an item, find out whether this number is prime or not. So all these things are problems, computational problems. So you can think that let me just by point write down. This is the first problem. This is second problem. Third problem. Many problems are there. Many computational problems are there. Let's assume that many computational problems are there. So out of them, you can say that few problems are such that for which finding out the solution is easy. Polynomial time, you can find out that what is the solution. Okay, few problems would be there for which you can easily find out solution. For others, you don't know that how to find out the easy solution. So this set belongs to P. The set of those problems for which you can efficiently find out the solution is called the set P. Any problem on that? NP is another set where it also contains the problems, but those problems have the things that I'm not sure that whether, please try to understand what I'm telling. I'm not sure that whether finding out the problem is easy or not, but I am sure that if you give me the solution, then I can verify in an easy way. So let me give you a loose example. So for example, I give n to x to the power 1 0 1 0 10 minus x to the power 1 0 10. For example, 10 plus 32x square minus 25. For example, I give this number, and I ask you that give me that what are the roots of this equation. So it may not be easy because there are a lot of roots are there, and finding out those roots may not be easy. I'm telling that I'm talking out loosely. But if I give you that, let's assume that x is equal to 2. For example, I say that x is equal to 2 is a solution of this equation. So you can very easily verify in order of n time, because you know that the given x is equal to 2, you can evaluate in order of, you evaluate this function into the order of n time. Okay, evaluation is very fast. So looks like that evaluation, sometime evaluation here, I'm talking about, as I'm telling that it is a loosely I'm talking about. I just wanted to give you an idea. However, finding out this root is also not that much difficult. Okay, but just I wanted to make it clarify. So what I wanted to tell, that those problems for which we don't know that whether finding out the right solution is very easy or not, but we know that if a solution is given to us, we can verify easily. Verify in order of n time. For example, polynomial time. It's not the order of n into polynomial time. So this set is NP. So the one question could be that in if the set is NP, for example, this is NP set. So inside, whether all the items which are the P are also there or not? Yes or no? Hmm? Because verification, one thing I can do, that I can do the mathematical computation to find out the whether the root is given, root is a answer, whether given answer is correct or not. Another method could be that if the problem is given, for example, a problem is given, I can find out solution. Okay, because if the problem is inside the P, if the problem is inside the P, then very easily I can find out the solution. If you give me a solution, then I can just compare into order of one time. So that's very fast. So all the problems which are there into P, they're also inside the NP. Make sense? Is it clear? Can you write yes or no? All those problems which are there, they're also there inside the NP. The question remains that whether there is a problem that is inside P but not in P. So this is not an easy problem. Okay, it is a difficult problem to find out that whether there is exist a problem are there or not. So this is a difficult problem, and if you can find out this solution of this particular problem, proof of anything, or for example, any problem you can find out that is inside NP but not in P, then definitely you would be getting a lot of long-standing prizes that the people are actually striving for. So you can just search for the problem called the P is equal to NP problem. Okay, so it is a solution that P, you can tell that the P is not equal to NP because you have find out something that is actually not inside the P but inside the NP. Okay, so my objective is this, to tell you that in this particular NP set has a very special kind of property. And the property is this, that there are few problems in this particular NP set that are called NP complete. Those problems are NP complete. And the idea is very surprising that all the problems can be actually somehow in the polynomial time, they can be reduced this particular problem. Okay, means if you can solve this problem, then that particular solution you can utilize to find out the solution of this particular problem. Okay, so can you think like that, that all the problem which are there into the NP, they can be reduced to this particular problem. All the problems can be reduced into this particular problem. Okay, there are few problems, and those problems, just you may think that in this particular set, if I tell you that there is exist a problem in which all the other problem can be reduced, means if you can find out the solution of this problem, then all other problems which are there, you can immediately find out the solution for those things using this solution. Make sense? Okay. Okay, this problem is not single. There are multiple such problems. Okay, multiple such problems in which all the problems can be reduced. This set is called NP complete. And our TSP, traveling salesman problem, actually lies in this particular set. So what does it mean? That if you can find out the efficient solution of traveling salesman problem, you can solve lot of problem very efficiently. Okay, so this is very important thing called NP completeness. So hope you understand this thing. Any questions on that? So that's why this is not a very easy problem. It is a very difficult kind of problem. This is an NP complete problem. So this actually I wanted to tell you. Okay. So let us find out the setting that how the things are given. As I told you that a graph is given to you, and you know that whenever a graph is given to you, then the set of vertices and set of edges is given to you. Every edge has a weight, as you know that Cij. Let's assume that every edge is had a weight called Cij, and that is the weight between the node I and j. Any problem in this? We are assuming that this number is actually greater than 0. Okay. And let me here also tell you one thing. For example, let's assume that one, two, three, four, five nodes I have. Okay, and let me say that there are few edges. For example, this is edge, this is edge, this is edge, this is edge, this is an edge. Okay, so and let me say that this is a node one, then node two, node three, node four, node five. So my question is there an edge between one and three? Can you say yes or no? Is there an edge between one and three? Answer is no. Okay. So here, that's why I wanted to tell you that actually we are assuming in this whenever into the later point of time, whenever we are discussing about the ages. So here we are what we are assuming that age between 1 and 3 is also there. We are assuming however the graph is this, but we are going to assume that there exists an age between 1 and 3 and the weight is infinite. If the weight is infinite, then definitely we would not like to go by that particular path. So it actually makes various things simple, because then we can we can consider everything, and in this way we are going to define the Cij. Understand? For the points when there is a direct link, we can find out that what is the value, and when the direct link is not there, then we say that it is different. Also, let me also tell one thing that is also very important. Apart from this concept, I just wanted to tell you that these all these edges are actually okay. 1 minute. All these edges are actually directional. So from 1 to 2, if the value is 5, from 2 to 1, the value could be 3. Okay, they are directional edges. So AB is not equal to BA, A to B, and B to A, they are not going to be of the same size. We are also assuming this. This happens in the real life. For example, if you are into, for example, you are into some place. For example, if there is a hill and you are living at this particular place, and you want to reach to this particular place, so you have to go from here to here. Let's assume that the distance that you are going to put over here is not the Euclidean distance, but you are going to put what, the petrol spent. Okay, you can put the weight as a petrol spent. Then if you go up, you may end up burning 10 liters of petrol, but when you are going down, you may be only spending 7 liters, because when you are coming down, your engine is going to take lesser number of power. So this is also a very important thing that you should understand, that AB is not equal to BA. With this setting, let us go and try to solve our problem. The problem is very simple. So without loss of generality, because sorry, for all the nodes you are going to whatever the circle is, you are at the end you are going to reach to the 1. So what you can do, without loss of generality, you can say that I would start from 1 and I would come back to 1. No problem, because 1 is anyone, any particular city could be. You can say that you can start from the node 1, say that I would start from the node 1, and then I would come back to 1. Is this clear? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, clear. So there is no issue in that. Okay. So what now? Let me give you the perspective. So this is the node. You can think into the egocentric way that we are just on this particular node. That is a node 1, and let's assume that on this place you can see that only few other nodes. Okay, and then after that there would be some other things. They would be connected in some way, in a very complex way, but you can consider this particular place where, because from this particular place, what decision you can take, you can only go to these nearby places. Okay, let me say that this node is K, this node was 1, this node was K. For all the case, you see that for all the cases, all the for all the case, if you want to find out that how I should plan my tour for 1 to 1, okay, this tour is going to from 1 to 1. if you want to plan your tour for 1 to 1, you say that I would go from 1 to the tour K, 1 to the is K, and then from K I would come back to 1. It has two parts. That from here you go to 1 K, and from then you come from here you come back to 1. Only thing is this, that you, when you are coming back to 1, you are not utilizing the 1. Okay. In between, because all the things are actually distinct. We are only thinking that all the things are distinct. There is no loop on that. This part is clear, everybody? So I would start from the node 1, then go to the immediate node, any other node that is K, and then from that there I can come back with by avoiding 1. I can come back avoiding 1 from K to 1, avoiding 1. This is the important part. Otherwise, what would happen here? You can immediately come back. So sorry, sorry. So you have to avoid 1. Make sense? Okay. So K could be anything into V minus 1, because we have just seen that we were earlier assuming that all the places there is a link. So which K you are going to pick? Can you tell me? Any idea? Which K you are going to pick? Any idea? Can you write? Because let's assume that you are here and all other nodes are there. So which node you are going to pick? And because of our construction of C's, we know that from here you can go to any node. So which node you would go first? Any idea? That is the nearest one. I would go to the one which is the nearest one. Okay. It is logical to pick the K with the minimum C1K because it is the nearest one. You would go to that one which is the nearest one, because if you take anything else, it may be of the larger size. Okay, make sense? So let us mathematically formulate these things. Let me introduce a variable called G, and let me say that G1 and S. What do I mean by this? That from 1 minute, from 1 you are using these vertices and going back to 1. Once again, GIS means what? That you are starting from the node I and you are using the nodes which are here, and then at the end you are going to reach to the 1. What is the length? What is the shortest length of the shortest path? GIS tells that length of the shortest path from where I to where 1, using only nodes in S. Okay, so if I want to say like this, I would be telling what? GIS. Let me give you an example. G 2 3 5 means what? From where you are starting, sir, but the path K to 1 might be longer than some path L to 1. Can we still choose the minimum distance vertex from 1? Okay, so look, the problem is, Igna, the problem is this, na? We are going to define the problem into a recursive manner. So here we are assuming that solution for this part is somehow you are going to find out the recursive solution, and that is the best solution that you somehow find out. Let's assume that we have a procedure by which you can tell me the best route over here. Then what is left? at the when you are at the age one, when you are at the node 1, what is left? That what is your first decision? You know that this value is optimally calculated. Okay, then definitely you would go to the place which is the nearest one. When you are starting somewhere, if you are going somewhere else, then you are actually spending more thing. Okay, yeah. So I was asking this question that I was asking this question, G235 means what? Everybody, this is a very important point. You are starting from, can you write? Can you write like this? Navneet is writing, we cannot say that we have to pick the minimum unless it is greedy problem enough. So I'm telling now that this particular part is going to have the show all these properties. Okay, second part we assume that we are going to do in this particular way. Make sense? Okay. So starting from G, we are talking about the G235. We are starting from where? We are starting from where? Can you write? 2. Yes. We are reaching where? Reaching where? 1. And in between, what are the nodes? 3 and 5. So what are the two possible paths? 2 to 3 to 5 to 1. 2 to 5 to 3 to 1. Please note that actually this is going to consider these two paths, and out of them whichever is going to have the minimum weight, this particular quantity is going to represent that particular value, whichever has the minimum thing. Okay, so if we assume that this algorithm give me the minimum thing, okay, so how can I construct my problem that you are just talking about? That how can we construct our problem in a recursive way? We say that our objective is to go from G1 V minus 1. We actually want this value. Everybody is comfortable about this, that we want this particular value. What are the intermediate things? What are the intermediate points? What are the intermediate points? You would be reaching to 1. What are the intermediate point? You are going to start from 1. Intermediate points are V minus 1, because you cannot use 1 into the intermediate things. This part is clear, everybody, that you actually want to find out this with this quantity. This quantity is clear, that this is the minimum value, that when you start by 1, using all other things, you are going to come back to 1. Make sense? Can you write yes? G1 V1. Whether this part is clear? Can you write yes? Yeah. This part should be clear to you. So if this part is clear to you, so I am telling that this is going to be the minimum value for all other nodes which are there, 2 to k minus 1 for all other nodes. Actually, I wanted to tell you that this is nothing more than this, that I'm going to use all other nodes, and I'm from my 1 to I'm going to k, and then from k to I'm going to come back to 1. So this is the second part. Two parts are there. So and we know that this particular function g, we assume that this particular function, and we will be constructing in such a way so that it gives you the minimum value. So this is the minimum value. Okay, this is the minimum value plus this value. So we want to find out what is the summation of these two things. What is the summation of these two things? Whichever is going to minimize this quantity, I am going to return as an answer. So, make sense? Any problem here? Okay. So if I want to solve this particular part, when I'm arriving at some other place, for example k, I can say that at ith node I am, and a set is given to me, v minus 1 minus k is here, for example, and here I say that some set is given to me, and we want to find out what is the value over here. You again can say that I'm going to start, because this is I, you say that from I to all the j, where you can go all the places which are there into this particular set. Then you see that what is the value of j s minus j, and you find out the summation, and in this way we can recursively define that what what is the minimum value that I can get. Okay. Okay. All right. So let us continue. This is a very simple thing that we want to do. Let us do it with respect to an example. This is an example, and this example is very simple. Let me tell you that how many nodes are there? One, two. Let's assume this is one, two, three, four nodes are two, three and four nodes are there. 1 to 1 is nothing is there. 1 to 2 it is 10. 1 to 2 is 10. 1 to 3 is 15. 1 to 4 is 20. 2 to 1 is 5. 2 to 1 is 5. You can say that both side, both the this is 10 and this is 5. So these values are not same. This value is not same. Okay. So then 2 to 3 2 to 3 is 9. 2 to 4 is 10. 3 to 1 is 6. 3 to 2 is 13. 3 to 2 is 13. 3 to 4 is 12. 4 to 1 is 8. 4 to 1 is 8. 4 to 2 is 8. 4 to 3 is 9. 4 to 3 is 9. So this is what the graph is. I cannot draw it better. Sorry for that. If I want to find out that what is the minimum distance when I start from 1, use 2, 3 and 4 and reaching and then again come back to 1. This is what I wanted to know. I need your help to find out these calculations. If you have the pen and pencil, please answer me here. Okay, I need your answer. 1 to 4 should be 20. Okay, that is fine. Okay, if there is some problem in that, I think 1 to this value should be 20. That is fine. Okay. Okay. So one. So what is the formulation? As we have seen that if you want to find out this value, when you start from 1, then you have to use this particular formulation. Once again, let me clear it and tell you that we have to use this formulation for 2 to n. All the things. What is the distance and what are the then the remaining distance. So I say that 1 to 2, 1 to 2, then 1 to 3 and 1 to 4. 1 to 2, 1 to 3 and 1 to 4. When I am going to 1 to 2, remaining item are 3 and 4. So 3 and 4. Since you have reached to the 2, so then you go from 2 to 3, 4. Means you start by 2, using 3 and 4, you have to come back to 1. 1, 3 means what? You start by 3, using 2 and 4, come back to 1. 1, 4 means you start by 4, using 2, 3, you come back to 3. So can you give me that? What is the value? Any value you know? C12? I think C12 we know because we can write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. C12 is equal to 10. C13 is equal to 15. C14 is equal to 20. Am I right? What is the value of this quantity? I don't know. I have to compute. G2, 3, 4. Again, we have to do the same thing. From the 2, you go to 3. From the 2, you go to 4. So 2, 3, 2, 4. And then using, when you are going to 3, using 4, you have to come back. Using 4, you have to come back. Okay. When you go to 4, at that time, using 4, you have to come, using 3, you have to come back from the 4. Okay. So, make sense? What is the value of 2, 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is 2, 3? Is, I think, am I right? 9. 2, 4 is 10. I need to find out what is the value of G34. G34 is, G34 means from 3 to you go to 4, C34, and then from 4 to 5. 5 means from 4 you come back. From 4 you come back. Okay, 4 to 5. This 5 is important. Everybody please see. That's what I have written. That here I have written that C34 plus G45, because from 4 this next thing, this particular set becomes 5. This particular part becomes 5. So 4 5 means from the 4, G4 5 means from the 4 you come back to 1 without using anything, means direct link. 4 to 5, 1 2 3 4. So direct link is 8. Am I right? This value is 8. C34 4 is 12. Total value comes out to be 20. Okay, total value comes out to be 20. So this value C34 is equal to how much it is? 20. How much this value is? C23. C2123 is 9. So it becomes 29. So here you get what value? 29. C12. C12 is 10. It becomes 39. Am I right? Am I right? Tell me. Any questions? Everybody, please verify. Sir, we need to calculate C24. Okay, yes. Igna, you are perfectly right. I have done this mistake. I was thinking that somebody is going to point me. Okay, so this is not the right value. Once again, this is not the right value. Yes, I wanted to ask this particular thing, that this particular quantity, na, G234 is not 29. I know that this value is 29. This value is 29, but this is the minimum of these two quantity. Na? You also have to find out what is this value. So let us find out. C24 is what? C224 is 10. G43. I want to find out G43. It is going to be what? C43 plus G35. Okay. What is G35? G35 is far 3, from 3 you are coming back. It is 6. C4, it is 6. Okay. C43 is 1 2 3 is 9. 6 plus 9 becomes 15. Okay. So this value is 15. So total comes out to be 25. So you have seen that Igna has saved us. Otherwise, we have done a lot big mistake. So what is the answer of this particular quantity? It is 25. 29 and 25 were there. This value is 25. All right. You put it here, plug in here 25, and you get what this value is, 35. So what are the other values? Can you find out that what is this value and what is this value? Quickly compute and let me know. Okay. Quickly compute and let me know. I give you the time. Please compute and let me know. So anybody, let me clear it. I need the answer from your side. Then only I would go. At least one. Everybody, please compute this particular at least one value. So let me remove this. At least compute one value. Okay. So can you tell me this quantity? What should be, because I have to find out the minimum. So I'm asking you that can you give me this value, this quantity? Can you give me this quantity? What is the value of this value, this quantity? G324. 324 is 33. Somebody is telling 33. Okay. Yogi Modi is telling 33. 33 is not right. So somebody is telling this value as 25. See 13. 13 is 15. So if 13 is 15, 15 plus this becomes 40. Okay. Make sense? So this complete value becomes 40. All right, so you can compute this value, and you can also, you see, in the same way you can find out what is the third value. It is going to be the 40. It is going to be the 43. Okay, it is going to be the 43 if you compute it. So what is this? What is this quantity? G13 complete. Can anybody tell out of these available values what is this value? It is going to be once again 35. Yes, because you want minimum, and this is the only minimum. So you have selected this. So let me tell you that how you would proceed from now onwards. So you find out that let me write from the 1 you have to go to 2 because here it is 2. Okay, 1 2. Then from 2 to, when you are going to 2 2 you are progressing. Two options were there, either you go to 3 or either you go to 4. We have done this computation and find out that this was the minimum one. So C24 was the minimum. So therefore from 2 you go to the 4. Okay. When you go to the 4, then remaining part is C43. G of 4 3. This was the thing. So what you can do, you cannot do anything except that you go C43 and then you come back from 3, you say 5. It is only thing is possible. So 3 4 means what? You are from 4 you are going to go to the third, and this says that from third you are going to come back to 1. So this is your tour that is you have to do. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? Is it clear? Everybody clear? Yes? Okay. So we have just seen that how we can find out the tool. So let me go ahead and write this algorithm for you. This algorithm is very simple, and try to understand that when I wanted to find out the when I wanted to find out the value of G, I wanted to construct that thing because for every value, for example, for every I am going to construct this value. So I start by saying that initially Gi of 5, then Gi of one size item, then two size item, then three size item. All the possible three things, because with the G3, all the three things which are there, I have to take, because for them we have to compute the table. If we change the order of rows of matrix, would we get the different answer? We change the order of rows. Okay. Okay. You are telling that this row is going to be here and here. Okay. You want to say like that? So what would happen that ultimately they are actually going to tell that what is the distance. You are changing the distances. If you are changing the distances, definitely the answer is going to change. Okay. And it is because ultimately you are changing so much, because A, B and B are not same, and therefore you are changing so much things. So definitely answer would change. Makes sense? So whether this part is clear, what I wanted to tell, that G, whenever you want to construct the value for G, for all the values I for 1 2 3 4 5 6, this way you are going to construct. Here is a set. Whether this part is clear to everybody, that we have computed that G first item is given, then there is a set is given, and this set could be of the size 5. Everybody please understand, can you write like this? Then to find the minimum, should we not consider all possible arrangement of rows as well? No, this is given. Na? Look, this particular thing is actually given to us. We cannot change here because it is what the fundamentally given question, that it says that what is the distance between point A and B. It is given here. We cannot change this. Okay, we cannot find out any permutation of this. Okay, make sense? But we can select the starting node. Yeah, so the point is that if you change the starting node, that's why I wrote that the without loss of generality, we can pick anything, because that can be inside the center also. Okay, if there is a chain, if there is a circular chain, so it doesn't matter that if you start from here or here, from here or here, wherever you can start. So it is like that. Whenever you start from anything, you find out the places for the next thing, and the solution would be there. Okay. Okay. So So let us investigate this algorithm. Okay, give me a few minutes. So here you have seen that in all the cases, whenever 1 minute, whenever I wanted to compute these values, in all these settings, G was going to be given one number, and then there was a set. Okay, and we have seen that this set could be even 5. So you see that from 5 set you go to the item having one item, two item, three item, to the n minus 2 items. Why n minus 2? Because there should be at least one item, and in this particular set one cannot reside. So at least two items are missing in this particular set. In this particular set, two items are missing. So I'm telling that initially, for all the g's, for all the values of I, for I is equal to 2 to n, because for 1 I don't know the value, I have to compute. So for 2 to n, for all these things, 2, 3, 4, g2, g3, for all these things, I'm going to compute what is the value of phi. And this is the directly given value, that is C21, C31. In this way, the value is directly given. So I start by having the direct value here. This step is required so that I can say that I am constructing the solution from bottom up manner. This part is clear. Note that what I am going to write, for every I you have to start from phi and create for all the possible sets that could be there. For them you have to find out the value. Okay, and how many values here could be, I have just told you that not that number of item could not be more than n minus 2. Why n minus 2? Because one value is here and one value is 1 and this I, these two things you cannot consider. Okay, and when you are going to k is equal to 1 to n minus 2, you say that for 2 is equal to n, for all the other items which are there, you are going to find out all the possible subsets where all the possible subsets all the possible subsets where you are neglecting only two item I and 1. If the size of this particular set is k, you know that the k is going to be constructed from 1 to 1 to n minus 1, means initially your k would be 1, then 2, then 3, dot dot dot, n minus 1. So initially, even though it was 5, then you find out the item where the only one item is possible, then two item set, you take the all the subsets where two items could be there, you are going to construct for that. And how to construct that value? Please note that if you know that G, the value of G1 phi, and you want to find out the value of G, for example, here 2, how can you find out? Definitely you can find out this value, because if this value is available, then you can find out this value. Okay, because it is going to be the C12 plus 2 phi. 2 phi is already available, because for the phi's the values are actually available. Let's assume that for the phi size thing, all the things are available. Then you can construct the things for the one size. Then similarly, if the two size things are available, then you can use this for the construct three size. That's why this algorithm is going from 1 to n minus 1. Initially, one item subset, two item subset, three item subset are constructed till n minus 1, n minus 2 item subsets, n minus 2 size subsets are created, and for all those values I am going to construct this. And this is nothing more than this, that for all the available value of s, you find out that which is the minimum value, and you are going to find out this. Ultimately, when everything has been computed till the size n minus 1, then you want to answer that what is the answer for one item. And for one item, for all the available items which are there, you try to you see and return me that what is the minimum value. And this is the precisely this step. And the inside loops are actually finding out these values first, for one side, two size, three size, so that you need not to go inside, and you can use the tabulation method. Ultimately, this is also going to be the answer, and this is what the algorithm is. Let us try to find out that how much time this algorithm is going to take. I would be not taking your much time, and it is very easy to analyze. Let me just tell you that try to find out how many steps is required. This is take n minus 1 step, this takes n minus 1 steps. This is a k time you are going to run. What? That this is this n minus 1, n minus 1. Then we have a loop. Then this is a loop. So we have to find out the summation, but how many times this particular thing is going to execute? 2 to n minus 1. So what is this? What is inside that 2 to n minus 1? You want to find out all the possible subsets. Okay. So this particular thing inside is again going to run. 1 minute. Let me tell you that this is going to run for 2 to n, means n minus 1 times what? Finding out all the subset of that particular size. Finding out all the subsets of that particular side, and then this line comes that tells that I'm going to find out the minimum item. So to find out the minimum item of the S, you need to invest a size of S thing, and size of S is k. So k number of operation would be required into this particular step. So why 2k is written? Because you know that k values you have to compute, and then out of these k values you have to find out the minimum that would again require k number of steps. That's why 2k number of steps are required. And this actually tells that I'm going to create all possible subsets. So how many subsets would be possible? N minus 2 ck. N minus 2 ck means I'm going to choose those items. And this step is again finding out all the item n minus 1 item, and then out of them generating n minus 1 item, and then finding out the minimum out of them. So it takes again 2 n minus 1. Last step is just a return statement, takes only one time. So this one, then this thing, and here this is what the loop is. Here this part is actually the loop. So this loop is n minus 1 time going for this particular operation. So n minus 1 time n minus 2 ck, and then multiplied by 2k. So this is a loop. This is the first line. You can say that 2 into n minus 1. So if you solve this expression, so what would happen? That this n minus 1 would actually come out, and n minus 2 ck, if you find out and k multiplied by find out this particular summation, it comes out to be 2 to the power n minus 2, something related to the 2 to the power n minus 2. So ultimately the expression that comes out to be it is 2 to the power n minus 1, and there is a 2k term by n minus 1 term is also there. So what happens, that the answer comes out to be something like this. Let me just write here that n minus 1, and this particular thing is also going to give you a n, and then 2 to the power n minus 2. So this is actually going to come out. I just wanted to give you a small homework that try to find out what are the important component. If you have any problem, the complete solution is also given into the notebook that is supplied to you on the Nalanda. Okay, so this is what you are going to get. 2 to the power n minus 2 is again 2 to the power n, and n into n minus 1 is order of n square. So overall the running time is n square 2 to the power n. Try to understand that if we do it by brute force method, it was n to the factorial n, and factorial n is of order of n to the power n. So if you compare two things, the solution that was n to the power n, and now this solution that is order of n square 2 to the power n, you can see that this is a better solution. However, you can see that it's not that much better, but it is better solution. It is a better solution and even faster solution. So any questions on that? If you want to find out the space complexity, how much space is there, let me tell you that the slide that is given to you, it is wrongly written over there. It was a typing mistake. I have just corrected here. So you by yourself correct this on this particular slide if you take the printout. So what you wanted to tell, how much space is required for all the possible subsets which are there, all the possible values that you are GIS that you can find out, where S could be the value that if from the V, if you subtract the 1 and I, because these two values are not there, for all those things you want to find out all the possible subsets. Make sense? Because V minus I and 1, these two things you are removing, and for all the subsets you want to compute that what is the value of this. So it is n minus 1 2 to the power n minus 1 ck, because n values were there. So n minus 2 ck, k items you are going to take. See how this is the, because the subset could be of the size 1 2 3 4 anything. So you find out the summation for k is equal to 0 to n minus 2 summation of this particular quantity. This comes out to be n minus 1 because this particular quantity does not have the k, so you can take it out. Remaining part, again, if you the summation comes out to be 2 to the power n minus 2, and therefore the answer that you get n minus 1 becomes n theta of n to the power n 2 to the power n. And again you can say that it is a huge space that is required. Yeah, notebook is on Nalanda. Yeah. So this is what the answer is. Okay, this is the space complexity of this algorithm. Thank you very much. That's all for today.